Hi, my name's Shawn Taylor. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek, of all the social media fames. Welcome to Avatar The Last Podcasters. Chris, I instantly am realizing, are your eyes brown? You got brown eyes. I got brown eyes too.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I mean, you know what? I hate. I love my mom. This one's, my mom has very nice hazel eyes, and none of me and my sisters have it. We all just have brown eyes that just look black from a distance. It's
uh,
like you couldn't pass that gene down to anybody else.
just gonna hang on
No,
to that one for yourself.
yeah.
My grandpa used to tell me I have brown eyes because I was that full of shit. He'd be like, "You're full of shit up to here. That's why your eyes are brown." I was like, "Okay, that hurts my feelings, Grandpa, but you're right. I do like to tell tall tales." Chris, last week I said a thing that was a stupid thing to say. That's how excited I am. I said I would have the magic cards in my hands by this week, and by the time you're all listening to this, I will. But this week for you is last week for me. Oh, I have the cards to show you on the set right here. Otherwise, I didn't think
sure.
about that in double recording land. But to answer the question, what am I up to this week? It's staring at these packs of cards. At some point in the near future, I believe that we'll have like a full, a pretty full list of the cards released. So I can at least start like picking through and getting ideas of what direction I want to go, and I honestly enjoy that part of like deck building a lot. So looking forward to that. That's probably what I'm doing this week. Probably.
Yeah, I
Chris,
tell
what
you,
about
really
you?
excited.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm so excited. I'm excited to when I go play Magic with my friends to not borrow a deck because there's a specific one I like and it's good. And in my head, my brain's like, "Oh, that's my deck." It's like, "No, Shawn, that isn't your. You borrow that deck, and you should feel ashamed of yourself." No, I'm gonna have my own deck. It's gonna be great.
Gosh, when we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, I remember simply having like an argument with someone, and someone bringing up like, "You don't even have your own deck. You gotta borrow." No, never mind. We weren't talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. We were talking about someone's bike.
You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
Uh,
I love that guy. That guy you guys recommended that does the little voice
I
inside.
don't even know. He doesn't have a name. He's just the guy.
It's a TD Oral author, something like
Turtle.
that. Oral author.
Yeah.
And in the Yu-Gi-Oh one wasn't his best one overall, but the part of that one that got me is like Pegasus, Yugi Moto, Seto Kaiba, and Joey.
I saw a Yu-Gi-Oh meme of like somehow and then it is something I never even thought about before, but somehow the English dub of Yu-Gi-Oh made people think that Pegasus was like was gay, and you find out that he actually has a wife. And the shocking thing is find out he has a wife, and then like it's like like the meme is like, "Oh hey there, Yugi boy," and then and then it's like someone's like, "Oh, you found out my backstory that I had a wife," and then Yugi's like, "Wait, you have a wife?" He's like, "Of course, Yugi boy," and like just like when I read Yugi boy, I read it in that thing because he always said Yugi boy in that type of manner. But just and then someone was like, "That's our bi king," and then so I laughed at that.
A friend from the previous job that I had, and he was gay, and we had a fantastic conversation one time that I would give anything to go back and record. And he was just talking about his favorite gay-coded things that were like, that it wasn't important to the story, or that ultimately in the story, like in Pegasus' case, it's like, I guess he's, he's bi at best because he's got a wife or whatever. That's not integral, but just like favorite like gay-coded things. And the two that I remember most were Pegasus, and then it's either Jaws 3 or Jaws 4. And there's just a lot of random things in whichever one of those two movies it is. That's just like that's like I'll have to dig it up later, but just like ridiculous things that have no bearing on the movie whatsoever. And but then you hear them said out loud, and you're like, yeah, somebody was just like writing that in. Like, let's see who notices this.
Yeah.
I think it was three. It's whichever one that they're in, like a SeaWorld style park. It's a bad one, frankly.
Yeah.
One of the bad. They're all bad after the first one.
I know I need to rectify this. I never seen any of the Jaws movies. I haven't seen the first one. I mean, I hear it's a cinematic, thing, but every now and then I don't want to revisit old movies. I'm just like, I know it's probably not that good, and I don't feel like listening.
Jaws 1 was probably in a Star Wars way really cool for the time, and I love it. I love it unironically. I love Jaws 1. But it doesn't hold up amazing. There's some weird directorial choices in there, Mr. Spielberg. Bruce looks bad. The shark, frankly, just looks bad sometimes because he's a 1970s animatronic shark. He looks like crap. But I still love it. But Chris, the other ones, all of them are trash, and they just get worse and worse and worse. It's bad. But in one of them, there's some gay-coded stuff that's kind of funny. But anyway, Barry, if you're listening, you and Chris got me. I watch all that guy's stuff now, all of it. He's great.
He is really good. Yeah.
Like, and the blind girl. Make her a god. Yes.
Sometimes I wonder, like, when people make content that's very wide, I'm like, are they watching and reading everything? Or are they just looking at the little stuff and figuring out what to talk about? But like, just the way they talk about it, you come away thinking like, oh, they are fans of all these things and have consumed all this media, which is a lot to me.
He did Twilight, but he even said, like, in his little description, it even says, like, I didn't read the books, I just watched the first movie, or something. Like, he's very clear in the Twilight movies.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's this, the best part of that one's like, take these beings, these beautiful, eternal, unkillable beings, and make them take remedial high school classes. Oh, it's great. Anyway, sorry. Getting way off topic here. Chris, how do you think that you would have spent this week?
Let's see.
There's probably a smarter way to ask that. Like, what are you going to do this week? Would be like a human way to...
Reading more smut or listening to
Somehow listening to it makes it feel worse, because like to us
you
could just be listening to anything in your headphones, like, oh, he's just listening to music, and you're over here just like, oh yeah.
Sometimes I see those memes. It'll be like this white guy. It's like me listening to my audiobook at the gas station or at the stoplight, and this white guy looking straight face, and it's this like some type of romance book from a black woman's perspective, which makes it even funnier. Of like, and I reached down and whatever, and he clapped whatever in my cheeks of death and back and hell and high water, and he just has a straight-laced face, and the camera's always on, like someone looking in the car, like, what the heck are they listening to? That
always makes me think of the it's like me listening to angry at life death metal on my way to work, and it's just a guy like dressed in a normal outfit, like in his car, like a tie and stuff.
Yeah.
Just calmly. But
what I'm listening to most of the time is in my car is anime intros, because I just have a CD playlist in my car that just stays in there. My daughter likes listening to it also.
I call it my master playlist. We've probably never talked about this before. I call it my master playlist, and all it is, I just call it the master playlist because I wanted to give it a cool name. It's probably 40 or 50 of just my favorite songs ever that I have bothered to put on my phone distinctly and on purpose. And like half of it is just like, okay, yeah, I can see how that would be a song that a person would like. And the other half is just the most random, like it's the metal version of the Pokemon theme song. And the Power Rangers, same story, the Power Rangers one. So like half of it's just normal, and the other half is that stuff. And then it makes sense to me. But anyway,
Hmm. I
uh,
have it's funny. I have been like more into Power Rangers lately because I bought they have this new toy line and I bought they have like the gun like they have the gun thing that also turns into like a little saber thing and I bought that for myself. I brought it down into my basement. My son, my youngest son, really wanted to play with it. He was like, "Oh, this is so like he really loves the toy." So I let him play with it, whatever. Like I'm not that concerned about it. I might buy him his own for Christmas and my other son. But also I'm like, he can just play with mine. I mean, they're no longer fighting over it. They were definitely fighting over it earlier. And so I watched a couple episodes with him, like, oh, we can watch Power Rangers. And so there is kind of this itch in me to like watch more Power Rangers recently.
I am of the firm belief that Power Rangers is not a good show, but A, I love it anyway.
How dare you?
I love it anyway. And B, what a great toy show, right? What the perfect show
Oh,
for selling toys.
gosh. So freaking great.
Better
Like at
even
different levels.
okay, of the shows that exist to sell toys from that era. Like Chris, if you had to choose between that and
Oh,
Transformers, like let's say you're like, hey, we're gonna make toys for a show. Are you picking Transformers? Are you picking Power Rangers or something else? I'm not
no, I'm
thinking of?
thinking. Well, and if I think about toys at that time, right? There's Power Rangers, X-Men, Batman the Animated Series. Those were some of the main. And then you get, of course, there was toys of like every. Oh
Of
man, it
every
makes me
show
miss the
had
night.
toys, right? GI Joe,
Like every show had toys.
He-Man
Like
was
that.
made because of toys, right? Like the
Like
He-Man toys
yeah, I
came
remember
first, and then the He-Man show.
Darkwing. Darkwing Duck had
Yeah.
toys. Like you don't see that now. Like there's so much content that toy companies can't be like, oh, well, we'll make a toy line of
So
this thing.
let's set
Um,
Pokemon
but
aside for just a minute, though, Chris. Set Pokemon aside, and
uh,
you pick the show from all of history to make a line of toys out of, and I think Power Rangers would have to be in the top two.
yeah, I mean, it, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's at multiple levels. Honestly, it might be number one, Sean.
I think it is.
Because look,
I keep
you
thinking
got
about Transformers, but overall, do I want Power Rangers more than Transformers? And I think I do.
you have individual action figures, right, of the Power Rangers themselves.
Relatable
So that
humanoids. Yeah.
exactly that right there already, and then you can
That's your
get the
garden
buddy
variety play
monsters.
toy too. Like you're just
Oh,
bashing them together. It's just the Power
yeah.
Rangers.
Then you got the vehicle Transformers aspect of it, of the Zords. You can either get them individually or as one whole Zord. And they have different Zords. And they have the different Mega Zords and stuff. And they transform. It's very. And then one aspect is that like you can make toys of the weapons themselves. So like the sword, the battle axe, the daggers, the staff, the bow and arrow. I really want the uh, then you got the freaking cyber sword. You got the dragon dagger. Like those are hugely collectible. I really want a power. So they recently had a toy line of releasing like an official sword for the Red Ranger. Of course, they have the White Ranger's Tiger's sword, and then they also have the Green Ranger's dagger flute, and then they have the Yellow Ranger's daggers, and then the Blue Ranger's dagger slash staff. This was always weird, but they never released the Black Power Rangers power
Which
ads
is the best
or
one,
the.
frankly.
It's the best
It's
one,
so
and like I
cool.
keep. They no longer do that toy line, and they didn't finish it. And
Oh,
and that's the one that I really want to buy. So I've been looking like I could probably make my own maybe.
that's easily the coolest of the weapons. And the most violence is just a giant, like, futuristic battle axe. The clash of,
Yeah.
I want a medieval weapon, but shiny and space-like.
I saw this meme of like Power Rangers. They were always pro gun. Like
Always.
whatever weapon they had turned into a gun. The way the guy he called it the blicky, because that's a very. He was like, "Yo, we Power Rangers. We keep the blicky on the side. No problem. We got our actual weapons here. Also a blicky. All combine them all. turn to Big Blicky. We got the
Oh
Zords.
yeah, when they would
They're
just put all the
shooting
weapons
even
together
bigger.
and it's like a
Yeah, they
giant,
just put all the weapons. Yeah,
not a
just a
harpoon. What do you
giant.
call it? It's an over-engineered piece of weaponry.
Yeah,
Ah, that's
Big
fantastic.
Blicky.
Uh, Fun fact about Shawn is when in the Ivan Ooze movie, whichever Power Rangers movie that is, the Ivan Ooze one,
Power Rangers 1.
and I think so, yeah, like the first full
Yeah,
length, and they go to this
yeah.
other planet, and I'm pretty sure that lady they met on that other planet was like my first little kid crush, and she's very scantily
I'm
clad
in it.
for a random kids movie
You know
lady.
that's oh, absolutely. You know that's oh, never mind, different lady. Because never mind,
No,
never
but
mind.
now I gotta look it up and
Because in the
see whoever
well,
it
no,
is.
so
I just
in
gotta know.
the when they made it the TV show, they brought the lady from um CSI, the main character from Law and Order
I,
SVU, sorry,
I'm not
Law and
familiar,
Order
but
SVU.
awesome.
And she played that role. But yeah,
Did Vanilla Ice make an appearance?
he did not.
Oh, that's too bad. Her name was Gabrielle Fitzpatrick, and the lady's name was Dulcia, and she's basically wearing a green loincloth. And I saw
Yeah,
that movie in theaters, I think. It's probably 95, 96,
feels like 95, I think.
95-ish, yeah. Ah, and when the White Eagle, like, and in the toy,
Oh,
too, in the Megazord, the White Eagle folds in, and it does on the Megazord, too. Like, I had the
yes.
original Megazord, the whole thing, and then later I got the White Eagle. I was like, "It's ridiculous. How's that?
Uh,
It works, you know."
White. Oh, Falcon. Well, it's Falcon Zord.
Falcon,
Yeah.
yes, thank you. But it
Yeah.
blew my
So
mind that I got that later, and I already had this fully functional Zord, and all I had to do is pop the arms off, and boom, fit. It fit
it's funny.
like a glove.
No, we're way off. I know we're way off topic.
It's too late now.
But I watched. I watched an interview recently of Johnny Bash or Bosch. He is the Black Power Ranger, the second Black Power Ranger. He's a Black Power Ranger in that movie. And there's that scene, right, where they get the ninja outfit, which I freaking loved. Oh my
Those
gosh,
are
love
sick
the
ninja
ninja
outfits. I mean, they're
outfit.
just like cloth looking, but they look so vivid, so
Ah,
vibrant.
oh yeah, so freaking cool.
Oh, we about to have a Power Rangers
When,
movie watching. I'm down.
when I like the most recent. Anyway, about to get off on another tangent. Um, the he was mad filming in that scene because the way he tells the story, he was like, I had this action beat that I was supposed to do, but then they gave it to somebody else, and everyone was like, we know who they gave it to. And he didn't.
You could
So
say
he
the
felt mad.
name.
Rest in peace,
Oh yeah.
Jason David Frank. But yeah, and he was like, yeah, they took my action scene, so I was kind of upset. And then when that girl was walking around in her loincloth, naming them all, right, and saying like, you are Tommy of the Falcon Sword, and you are so-and-so of Water Sword, he asked the director, like, can I just be like sad or upset in this moment? Because him as an actor was mad that his scene was given to someone else. And they were like, yeah, sure. So then when she walks to him, she's like, Adam, why are you
Why you
upset?
upset? Yeah,
And
I can picture her saying it.
yeah, he's like, because I'm a frog. And then she's like, yes, but the frog gets kissed by the princess, and then she kisses him, and then he smiles. And he was like, we came up with that on the day. And that was like kind of a bigger scene for him.
Success. I did think the frog was weird, especially like watching it leap on screen. I was like, all right, that looks. He's right. That looks a little silly, but I get it.
Yeah, I wasn't digging the frog word, but
I stand by my original point, though. It's not an amazing TV show. You have to. I don't know. Product of its era, is that the phrase I'm looking for?
part of its time.
Or it's like, I mean, it is the kids' version of like when I like a John Wick movie, and I'll be like, John Wick is one of my favorite movies ever. It's the kids' version of that. It's like you're watching for one very specific reason. A little watered down, but
It's funny, the comic books, like, and I haven't read them, but I always want to. There's so many Power Rangers comic books, but they go into like the history of like Rita and Zordon and Zed. Like apparently Lord Zed was like kind of friends with Zordon, and they both come from some planet of whatever things, and like he corrupted himself and turned his body like inside out. He was like on life support, and that's why those tubes are like pumping blood throughout his body for him and stuff.
It's kind
And
of
then
wild.
Rita, yeah, and Rita was like the daughter of some queen who had a prophecy, and so there's like so much lore behind it that I wish I could get into the comic, but there's so many comics that I'm just like, nah.
It's big. It's a big universe. This last tangent before we get into our topic is a quick one. Is I made Heather watch the third TMNT movie with me, and
Oh,
I haven't
wow.
gotten to the other ones past this one yet. But oh my god, is that an unwatchable mess of a movie? I hated every second of it. It's just horrible. But anyway, it
Hey, character designs look cool. The the time mechanism itself
it looks
looks really
good.
cool.
The character designs don't look as good as the previous two movies. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like just not necessarily the. I think the design themselves are cool. Maybe not necessarily the costumes
Okay.
or like the. I know that sounds like I'm saying two different things. Or even the like. I'm sure the makeup. I'm sure all the puppetry got worse with each
It
movie.
did. It did.
The second one I think is
No,
fine,
first and second one feels
or it's about
super
the same.
similar to me. Feel very
Okay, yeah.
similar.
And then they got yeah. I think that third one has really bad. Whereas I think Jim Henson's company didn't do it.
I
Actually, I think
believe
he
it
might have
because they
given it.
feel so
Uh,
stiff. Like they feel way more rigid and plasticky looking. Like they look bad. Anyway, it's not a watchable mess. And Heather just looked at me and she's like, "I'm kind of turtled out for a while. Can we watch some women's volleyball on ESPN Plus?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely." Yeah, that's my last tangent. Chris, let's talk about a theory that you have. Not a theory, but well, maybe you have it as a theory. Let's talk about a thought process you have that you would like to explore.
yeah. So I might have mentioned this before, but I had even more of an epiphany behind it. That one thing that we've learned throughout the Avatar universe is that there are secret techniques, if you will, of certain benders. Um, and where that has to do with their lineage or something. But in Airbenders, they might have their fair share of them. But one, I think they have. I don't even know if I'm buying this theory, but there's support for it at least. Um, is that I think they have some type of precog or some type of clairvoyancy or some type of way to see the future. And that's actually supported in a few different areas that I'll go over. But that is the general sense of it. That airbenders have some type of foresight.
And to me, when I read it, my first thought process was, "No, Chris, this is stupid." No, I didn't think that. No, but my first thought process was
The
bigger.
fair,
But my second thought process was, when we say see the future, there's always this amount of like voluntary look ahead, however much I want kind of situation. Like, no, I think what you're getting at and what we've discussed before is like a pre-instant, like knowing when, like, I don't, is this a good example? Knowing to dodge a punch, like you know a punch is coming and they dodge it. They're that good at the evasion. That might be too instantaneous. It could be bigger than that, but just not
yeah,
like if I sit down and meditate, I can see what's going to happen in the future. It's like, no, it's like a precognitive
or even yeah.
instinct that hits them from time to time.
I think amidst those things, I think it's not like, oh, I see clearly, or it's not like, oh, I can go and see all the future. I can go see this date from this time of point. Someone's going to attack here. Not like that. That's like more so a like a general. Well, it varies also in this theory of mine. It varies from fight. It could be fight applications to a general sense of seeing a possible, uh, not even possible future, but just a possible threat or somewhere around there.
See, one part of that I can buy out, kind of get on board with super easily, the idea of a really practiced airbender being so in tune with their environment, with whatever environment they happen to be in, just being able to attune so nicely to that environment. There's like some amount of sensing a shift before it happens, or like sensing your move before you make it, just because you're starting to make it, or what that's very easy for
Yeah,
me to
sight
buy
makes
into.
sense.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
seismic sense of an
for
airbender,
the
basically. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so that's my first kind of evidence is that, yeah, we see that with Tenzin. Like Tenzin even says, like, they airbenders shave their head and can then get it helps with airbending, right? And we see that happen with Tenzin when Equalists attack him. He's just kind of walking, and then he gets this feeling, and then like, they attack him from behind, and he dodges, right? And they kind of show it with like a visual cue around it. And we see the same thing with a new airbender, that guy who Tenzin shaved his head involuntarily, necessarily. And he, even as a new airbender in a fight, could feel, I don't know, the vibrations of the air around him to give him some type of precog sense.
Unintentionally,
of
I think he's in the thumbnail I selected. It's him and Milo, and like the whole group of them standing, but that guy's there. But yeah, it's the same as like Toph not wearing shoes, right? Very similar in this specific example, at least.
Yeah, so that is the first evidence to support some type of airbender precognition / foresight. The next thing,
that one's very easy for me to get on board with instantly.
Yeah, to me, yeah, that one's like absolutely there and pretty confirmed. The next thing gets a little more interesting. So I was watching for research purposes, watching the Swamp episode, and then I was also watching like the Swamp episode or Ish and Korra. So I was watching the Swamp episode, and then Sokka sees Princess Yue, Katara sees her mom, and Aang sees Toph, a character he never met before. So it's like, I was trying to think about, like, okay, how did he physically see Toph? Like, what was it about him that made him physically see a person who he's never met before? So that's it's either Avatar related or it's Airbender related that he was able to do that. Or it's just the swamp, but then that also leads to... So anyway, so you got, 33% chance of what's causing him to see a glimpse into his future.
Repeat that? Something didn't stick in my brain about that for some reason.
So Aang, when he goes to the swamp, he sees a vision of Toph before he meets her. Because even cause usually people see visions of the past and stuff, but Aang sees Toph with a flying boar. And so the reasoning for that is either the swamp itself showed Aang a vision of the future, or B, because it's the Avatar, I don't know, he's tied to something being able to see a vision of the future, or C, because he's an air nomad.
So I always attributed it, and I'm willing to instantly say, like, not for a reason, but I always attributed it to the swamp. If you had asked me outright, my next guess probably would have been the Avatar state, but attributing it to the swamp is probably kind of silly. Maybe the swamp in conjunction with the Avatar state, if there's spiritual energy there, it's like, all right, I can maybe buy that. But but the supposition that it could just be because he's an airbender. Go on, hit me. What leads you to that over like being the Avatar and just having a connection to the spiritual energy?
Oh, nothing.
Swamp?
I wouldn't say nothing leads me to that over that.
Okay.
But it leads me to like everything, like that's one set of evidence, right? It's like, all right, Aang saw the future, and there's a 1 out of 3 chance or in this, if we
Let's call it 1
eliminate
out of
the
2.
swamp aspect of it.
Yeah, let's call it.
Okay, there's 50% chance that it's because he's an airbender or it's because he's the Avatar.
I'm
I
gonna
could go
say
either
if it was the
way with
swamp,
it.
then that's
Probably,
paired directly with being the Avatar and some kind of spiritual connection. So yeah, I think 1 out of 2 potential evidence.
yeah. I mean, either way, the swamp was the catalyst for this, uh, vision, and whether it triggered Aang See the Future because he's the Avatar or because an air nomad, the swamp itself was the ingredient that helped that along. And without some type of control, right? Like when because when Korra went to the swamp, she didn't see visions of the future. I mean, she saw visions of like the past and her own self and the stuff.
There again, that's just based on the time and her needs. Like, all right, could she have seen the future because she's an Avatar? Maybe,
Yeah.
but she didn't. Right? We don't have the evidence
Yeah.
to say that. So, all right. So it's not not disproven by Korra's visit to the swamp. All right.
But it would have been more supported as she did see some type of vision of the future.
Intriguing. Further, it's.
Uh,
I'll allow it, but watch yourself, McCoy.
The next 2 pieces of evidence. Which one should I go with first? I'll go with the next piece of evidence is the air nomads telling Aang early that he was the Avatar. Like when they told him, he was like, "Oh, why are you there? We typically wouldn't tell you now until you turn 16." And the only thing the guy says is that there's dark storms on the horizon. Like, as if, like, it was so vague.
Chris, that guy's just been scrolling Facebook a little too long. He just needs to put down social media and.
Now, I mean, you could honestly, well, when I think about this, they probably got some notice from the White Lotus of there's probably some type of connected stuff there that can better explain it. Or you can be like, air nomads came together and they were like, we sense some type of danger approaching, like in a vague sense, some type of vague danger, calamity approaching. You can go that route with it, that they had to warn Aang or prepare Aang early because of this somewhat clairvoyance. I'm not saying like an exact vision or of them being killed.
No, but I don't. It doesn't hit me wrong, the idea of a bunch of sort of finely tuned, very spiritual airbenders all together being like, hey, do you sense that? And the other one's like, yeah, actually I kind of do. And they don't have a specific read on it. It's like, no, something's not right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find that easy enough to swallow.
I just imagine the way you said that. I just imagine they go to their little meeting. They're like, hey, I don't want to put this out there, but I'm picking up bad vibes for the future. And they're like, man, I'm glad you said something. Because, dude, totally.
I've been over here the whole time thinking, do I want to be the one to say something? What if I'm manifesting? Yeah. What if I'm wrong? Had to be a safe space
and one guy,
meeting.
Yeah.
And
one other guy being like, can we tell the Avatar? Should we tell him?
How much are we sure that we feel this, whatever? I hope it was the first guy that said it out loud. Was maybe on the autism spectrum, right? So he just didn't have the same filter. And so he's just like, guys, there's a disturbance. And they're like, you know what? I'm pretty glad he said that. We needed that nudge.
Yeah.
No, I don't really have an issue thinking that in that circumstance, with that group of people, that they could be like, yeah, I don't know what it is, but I know it's bad.
Yeah, and it's vague enough that they're not like, hey, the Fire Nation's gonna attack this day. They're just like, there's something coming. We don't even know what the heck it is, but we gotta prepare and stuff.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Okay. The last thing is the statues. Now, the statues in the Southern Air Temple. The way that they are all direct, like it all comes from like above and around, and then it comes down to the floor, and it comes down to Roku's statue. And then if you follow that same thing, there's only room for two more statues. So like there's room for Aang statue and there's room for a Korra statue, and then there's no more room for any statues left. And it's like, did someone was like, either A, they have to move hundreds of statues every year, or B, someone was like, yeah, I think we're good here. The Avatar cycle is going to end and begin anew. We don't need, this room is big enough. We've constructed this perfectly for this.
I love this theory the best for two reasons. One, because that's what Chris, you know, we talk about there's always like one thing that bugs me, and that is a thing that does bug me, is like, who the hell would build a room for a never-ending cycle of statues? Who would do that? Right? So your answer here kind of clears that up nicely. And two,
That's funny.
and where's my second point with this? Two, no, I had a second part to why I enjoyed that so much. It'll come to me later, but I've always thought to myself of like, who the hell would construct the biggest room imaginable and just be like, all right, every one of these that comes along, like, but is that forever? Yeah. Yeah, it is. No, I think that's like a brilliant little like Easter egg planted there. Okay, but I will say, Chris, not that meant that the Avatar cycle is necessarily going to end, as much as that temple was no longer going to be in use at that time. But still,
Someone was like, listen, we're all gonna die by the time this Avatar come around. I'm not building a bigger room.
yeah, something bad's gonna. Chris, that's what I was gonna say. It's like when people thought like Aztec calendar world gonna end 2012 or whatever. But most historians are just like, no, they just had to stop. So you know what I mean? Like they were gonna do this forever.
Yeah.
And like they already did it 2,000 years or whatever. You know, what do you want from them? That's what I was thinking about. I was like, just where do you draw the line? No, but either way, Chris, that's the perfect kind of ambiguous precog too. Of like maybe Avatar cycle ends, maybe something bad happens in the temple. I don't know. I just know I'm stopping here. This is the end of the line. Or not even precognition. That's just all the money for materials that he had, and it happened to be exactly that much. That's its own kind of precognition. That's life finding a way. No, I actually do like that.
I wonder if they
that's a
ever go
neat
back
Easter
and
egg.
I wonder did they ever make a Korra statue to put there? Maybe we'll see that in the next one. I doubt it.
I'm gonna say that those are not through Korra's life inhabited by benders, but if in this next series we see that they become re-inhabited by, you know, not groups like, not Airbender specifically, but groups of people, that would be a fun little like throwback, a fun nod.
Yeah. I mean, they added the Aang statue. Air nomads aren't there, but they do have some air acolytes in that temple. They did add the Aang statue. I wonder how does. I would have to go look back and look at that episode in book 2. I don't know what it's called, but it's early in book 2 where they visit that temple, because Janora goes and looks at she goes way back and sees that old statue of Juan. I wonder what's the oldest statue, because that statue's probably like 10,000 years old. I mean, it's probably not. I mean, they probably built that temple. Who knows? I wonder what's the oldest statue we have that's like actually good. I mean, it's probably.
Isn't it funny to think about, though, that it had to be different artists carving these statues, though, right? Like, they try their best to be consistent, but Dave's just not as good at faces.
And then they mean they're like, man, statue art peaked in like it never got any better than during like the Renaissance period. Because like if you look at those statues, like they could do like cloth and it just looks a cloth that almost looks like transparent. It's like, holy crap! Like,
I don't know which, because I'm not a great history person. I admit I don't know which came first, but I think of statues from studying like Greek theology and the statues of the gods and goddesses. That just like those things are mad intricate. How do they do that?
I don't know if I buy this. AI. The first thing the AI came up with, oldest confirmed statue, is called Lowenmish figurine or Lion Man, a 40,000-year-old sculpture carved from mammoth ivory. Holy crap! What
Sick.
the heck?
Sick.
I mean, it's not a great statue. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not a good statue in the sense of like compared to a.
No, but you know,
I
I get what he was going for.
but
I see his vision.
mammoth ivory.
When somebody I think about statues, and the statues in the Lord of the Rings movie is those are like my favorite statues, and the reason is that I think that's the first time that I can remember that I felt a sense of scale in a movie, or like that I noticed a sense of scale in a movie when they're sailing by, and it just looks so good. They're sailing on the river by the giant statue's feet. Just the way that like it makes those statues, which are CGI or whatever, but it makes them feel so real and so massive. And like I said, I think that's just the first time I remember young Shawn thinking like that feels good, that feels huge, even though it's just on a screen. Those things look great.
Yeah.
Chris, I don't know if I have.
I'm gonna look at 10,000-year-old statue. How those look? 10,000-year-old person statue, or just whatever.
I don't have additional evidence to posit. I'm just thinking out loud here. But have we established, or has it been established, that time passes differently in the spirit world?
Oh, that's that's an interesting question.
I'm just gonna vaguely toss out that if it does, and you have a group of people that are connected to the spirit world, you'd be like, oh well, that's just connected to the fact that they are more connected to this other world where time moves inconsistently.
Man,
Toss that in there.
that's I mean, from a scientific point, I would, from a scientific point slash spiritual
Sorry,
point.
when we say scientific, we mean what we learned from the movie Interstellar. From that movie,
Absolutely,
that's what we
that's
mean.
the only thing of how gravity affects time and stuff.
That is the maximum extent of our time space knowledge.
I would absolutely think that time at least moves differently in the spirit world. Whether it moves differently, slower or faster. Now, if you get into that spirit world stuff, like what is time, right? Because space itself in the spirit world, right? Because like in the physical world, space-time is something that's like tied together. It is, those are the four dimensions of space-time. And anyway, if we talk about the spirit world, space is changing, and it's not constant, and it's not.
It's certainly not consistent with, or wouldn't have to be consistent with our own.
Yeah, and it's not like there's sun and space around it and stuff. It is some vast, endless, boundless entity that is kind of ever changing. Like there's no end of the spirit world. And so maybe time also has that same type of deal. Like, what the heck is time in a spirit world?
And it doesn't have a heavy effect manifestation on us, because usually when we see characters go to the spirit world, it's just in spirit only, right? Their physical self is still in our space-time. Yeah. But it's like a really common thing in fiction, and like everything's inspired by somebody else. I don't know where it all came from. But like in D&D, the Fey realm, time moves different. Artemis Fowl books, he goes to like I don't remember what I'm going to call it, the spirit world or Fey realm. Time moves different. There's another obvious example, Narnia, right? Like there's all these like across lots of fiction where it's you go to this other realm and time behaves differently, and then you come back here and it's 20 years later or a second later. I wonder where it all came from. Like, what inspired this? These people all watched
Yeah, I mean, but
Interstellar. C.S. Lewis saw Interstellar, and then he wrote Narnia.
yeah,
So,
in the saw it in the future,
in the,
came back in the past. Yeah,
well, yeah, sorry, he was a time traveler. I forgot to mention that.
yeah. I love
We're
Interstellar.
all time
So fucking
travelers,
good.
if you think about it. We just all travel the same
We are.
direction
We're
at the
just,
same
yeah,
rate.
yeah. I think someone asked Neil deGrasse Tyson that question of like, is time travel possible? He's like, well, we're all traveling through time.
That's actually a
It's like, no,
solid Neil
Neil,
deGrasse got there.
Neil,
That's nice.
Neil, you know what we're talking about. Can people travel to the future and back or
Backwards
whatever?
through time.
Uh, yeah.
Don't be a jerk,
Um,
Neil. Answer the question. Oh, that's fantastic.
but no, I mean, I would think that time in the spirit world has to be different than the physical world. I don't know to what degree. It's known the Avatar universe. If someone actually sat down and had some type of story around it, I would think it's dramatically different or interesting in whatever type of unique way that they could make it. But yeah,
All I know is
I could see it.
if I were an Avatar universe scientist and I had a guess that airbenders could see the future, I think the place that I would start would be like, all right, well, are you very spiritual? Do you feel connected to the spirit world?
Yeah.
If they said yes, I'd be like, that's where I'm going to start.
Yeah, yeah.
This is loose end
Oh
number
man,
one to tie up.
just try to think about the science people, like, if like the Variks of the world, because right now they're in they have sky, like they like think about like the scientists in our time who are doing like really space stuff or like even down to the atom type of stuff, like trying to understand how the universe functions and stuff. What type of scientist in the Avatar? Like, where do you start in the Avatar universe?
There's a lot of places
Of
you can
like,
dig from. The other day,
I'm like, yes, gravity is the thing, but this person can lift a rock with
that's going to throw all their
with their
science.
mind.
That could conceivably throw off their science for like another 10,000 years or whatever. Right? Like if we were on the
Yeah,
exact same timeline as them or our space time and theirs operated differently and went from ground zero, we're in the year 2000. They're, what we saw in Avatar The Last Airbender, that's their year 2000.
yeah.
Bending
Because
just boned everything that they knew. Oh, it's a
yeah,
magic water. That's what it is. Damn it, Sokka. Could you shut your mouth? Uh, that's
it's
fantastic.
even funny that they have the term gravity in the show. Actually, it's funny sometimes when I'm trying to write something for kids today. Like I think like, oh no, they wouldn't use this term. But then I think like, oh, Avatar used a bunch of terms all the time. Like
Yeah.
Aang says gravity in episode 1. He's like, oh, I laugh at gravity all the time. Like
Yeah,
that
they
term doesn't
know
seem.
that shit's supposed to fall, and they thought of something for it.
Yeah.
Uh, in D&D, when we had to go to the Fey Realm to complete a quest, but then when we came back, essentially because dice rolls dictate everything, and it felt so. It was just like an amusing thing of where the DM had this like great story about how we all like this how we're getting back to our plane of existence, and blah blah blah. Is really neat and really fleshed out, and then it just amounts to a dice roll of how many years of time you lose. This big beautiful story is like roll a d20. All right, you're 20 years older. It just boiled down funny, but anyway. I guess yeah. I'll bite. I'll say saying see the future is it like instantly leads your brain one specific way, and I'm gonna say no temper that a little bit and stick to a little bit more of a nebulous uh looking in the tea leaves kind of way, just a little more arbitrariness to it
Yeah.
than that.
Oh, one thing. It's funny. Well, that's different. There's Aunt Wu and stuff. So she's never been wrong. And so if Aunt Wu, a person who I would think an Aunt Wu Airbender who's very spiritual has a better chance of seeing the future than, yeah, like you
Well,
said, reading the tea leaves.
what if Aunt
And
Wu has like airbending ancestry, right? She herself not a bender, but maybe maybe great great grandpa was an airbender, and she just has little snippet of
yep.
granddad's sorcery. I'm on board. I said if it's framed nicely, I wouldn't be on board if I hadn't seen Christopher Nolan's hit movie Interstellar, but otherwise, but I have, so I am. It's a plug.
Airbenders go to the spirit world and they they become somewhat fifth dimensional beings who have access to all time, but like they have a hard chance reading it and stuff.
uh, I mentioned I've been watching Futurama, and I just watched the episode like a day ago where time is a circle, right? So they're trying to travel through time to get back where they were, and they miss it, so they just have to watch all of time pass through again.
That's fun. I love in The Good Place where they talk about Jeremy Bearimy. He's like, oh, he's like humans think of time as like point A to point B, and it's all one singular line. But really, time is Jeremy Bearimy, baby. And they're like, what are you talking about? He's like, Jeremy Bearimy. Like this is Michael talking.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys don't have a concept of Jeremy Bearimy. He's like, I'll show you. And it pulls out a whiteboard. He writes the name Jeremy Bearimy in cursive, and he's like, Jeremy Bearimy, time works like Jeremy Bearimy, or time works how this line, how Jeremy Bearimy is written in cursive. That's really how time works, and it's not. And then Chidi is like, so what is this? And he points to the dot on top of the I. He's like, Michael's like, oh, Michael says like, oh, that is all of time and none of time at the same time. And then Jenna says, and also sometimes Tuesday. And it's like, yeah, sometimes it's Tuesday. Like they stayed, and in the case of like, you guys are idiots. You don't know what Jeremy Bearimy is? Like, gosh.
I think it's fantastic that the direction of time adheres to the English language and also
Yeah, that's a random name.
speaks
Jeremy
English.
Bearimy.
It's all Jeremy Bearimy. I didn't remember that at all.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that they worship who almost got it right? Not worship. They go find later.
Oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Because the picture of the guy on the wall is the rich kid from that one episode of Community, but not later when they go meet him. Just the picture of the guy on the wall is the rich kid from Community, the whale. I can't think of it.
Oh yeah.
He almost had it right.
Yeah, yeah, because she was like, "Oh, dude," like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, so what religion was right?" He was like, "Well, whatever was right, whatever was right is right." But the guy who was most right just got high one day, and
What the hell is that guy's name? Though I cannot think of it. I'll have to look it up.
yeah,
Great show, great TV show, satisfying ending. Also,
oh man,
well, hey, this has been Tangents with Chris and Shawn, and next week, for sure. So this is a joke now because next week is Thanksgiving. So Chris, I probably won't record, but next week for sure, I have a box of cards that if I did record, I'd be able to show you. It'd be great. Be great. But no, for real, next week it'll be Thanksgiving, so I'm sure I'll be in a place where internet barely exists. And people still smoking in restaurants, probably. I don't know. All sorts. That was last episode. That won't even make any sense. And yeah, my name's Shawn. That's Chris Ford, a.k.a. The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. Thanks for watching. In being here. I'll put all the stuff down in the description. If you can give us likes and thumbs ups and positive reviews or whatever kind of positive interaction, we're grateful for all of it. And yeah, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.